What's good, goddess? I am Chi Aurelia, and listen, today I wanted to speak on single motherhood and how sometimes we question ourselves and really beat ourselves up about how did I end up here? What happened? What did I do wrong? What led me to this point? And honestly, you have to understand that it is nothing wrong with you. It is nothing of your doing that you can feel like I'm not supposed to be here, I shouldn't be here, this isn't what's meant for me. God orchestrates everything. Every absolute doing is of God. So you have to understand that if you were supposed to be somewhere else, doing something else with somebody else, having different children, whatever the case may be, where you feel like this ain't what it's supposed to be, you have to understand that this is exactly where God wants you to be, because there is something that He instilled in you that He needs you to realize. And we're going to get into that into a moment, but I really wanted you to understand that nobody sets out the goal to be a single mother, or to be, like I'm gonna just go find me somebody, have a baby, do it by myself. Don't get me wrong, there are some people, and that's why we have things such as sperm banks and all of that, but 99% of the melanated community of women that is of single motherhood, this was not a goal for us. We may have been in a situation where we were just kind of fucking around. We wasn't trying to get pregnant. Shit happened, and then here we are with a baby. We may have been in a relationship and everything was gravy, baby, until the baby showed up. Or, God forbid, you're in a situation where things were going really well, but God called him to come home and be with the Lord, as the old folks say, and he's maybe no longer with us. He may be in a chain gang. You may have even been married, and that is the goal, that is the dream, but for whatever reason things didn't work out. Maybe you elevated and that person wanted to stay where they are. Something called you to being in a position to where you said, you know what, I'm gonna go at this by myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you have put in the effort, when you have showed up and tried your best, when you are trying to break those generational curses, when you're trying to elevate and that person is showing you like, hey, I'm not with all of that elevation shit, I'm cool where I'm at, or fuck all of this breaking generational curses shit, I'm gonna keep perpetuating the same behavior that I know, then it's like, well, what other choice do I have other than to keep it moving? I can't elevate if there's a shackle stuck to my ankle. Therefore, I need to unchain myself from you and your bullshit and keep it moving so that I can really make sure that what I'm doing for this seed that we have planted is actually taking place. Like, we are, in the sense, we are gardeners. And we being the parents, whether the father wants to participate or not, we are both gardeners. We have planted this seed. It is now our responsibility to make sure that the environment that this seed is in is an environment where this seed can cultivate, it can grow, the fruit can become fruitful and not barren within this tree. It's wintertime. It's a lot of trees don't have leaves, they don't have fruit because of the environment. The environment is not going to be 100% all. As single mothers, I think we fight with ourselves a lot with trying to convince ourselves that we should stay in this situation. We should continue to, it's not that bad, at least he ain't doing this, and he used to be like that, but he's getting better. It's not like, because we don't want society to view us as less than because we couldn't make it work. Sometimes it's society, it's our family, it's us thinking that there is something wrong with us if we can't get this right. Now, sometimes we just have to realize that it is what it is. It is what it fucking is, okay? in our 20s, we may have been, you know, pussy popping on a handstand. Whatever it was that we were doing, we were not mindful of asking those deep-hearted shadow work type questions to really see and understand the person that we were dealing with before we received that seed and cultivated that child. And now that we're here, we're like, oh, this is how you think, this is what your mentality is, this is what, you know, and no one's perfect. I'm not saying that women show up to the situation 100% whole and healed. We have the things that we need to work on too. But I also feel like being in a place of parenthood allows us to see where we need to work things out within ourselves and within our own mindsets. And sometimes it's easier knowing that parenthood usually falls more so on the mother than it does the father. It's easier for us to say, you know what, these are the things that need to change. These are the things that I would like to work on. And so we're left working on those things alone. Or sometimes we may present an issue or point something out to the other parent and it's taken in a defensive way. Those are the things that it's like hindsight. Now that I know what I should have been asking, what I should have been discussing, what I should have been talking about, or seeing, you know, how would you act in this situation? What do you think about this? How would you do finances? These are all things that we should have been maybe digging deeper into before we lay down with this person. But we're here now, and all we can do is move forward. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you think is best for you and for this child moving forward? And do you see that being emulated within this situation, within this household, within this family dynamic? Sometimes it's very easy for us to get lost in the sauce of just wanting the family to be together. But when the family is together, it's like, okay, is it dysfunction or is it productivity? Is it negative emotions all the time and me having to wipe up a lot of tears? Or is it more so of the negative, me having to reverse the mindset that the child now has from seeing the different activities within the parent? Sometimes we're the parent that needs to change our own activity, and sometimes we peep how the other parent is getting down and it's like, whoa there, buddy. We don't do that over here. Okay, R.I.P. to Chadwick. So it's really important, but it's also like hindsight, you know, knowing like, okay, if I do decide to go at this another time, you know, some of us want more kids, some of us are one and done. If I decide that I want to do this again, I know now how I should be going forth into that, because again, we're gardeners in this area of planting a seed. So if I know that my garden, my child, this seed needs to have a nourishing environment, the soil needs to be moist, there are certain things that we need to be providing in this environment in order for this child, for this seed to cultivate and grow to their fullest potential. I love Tupac, I do, but our roses no longer need to grow out of concrete. We know what we need to instill in this environment to make this an environment where the rose is not struggling to grow. It's growing with ease. It's growing with love. It's growing with compassion and understanding that, hey, the world is yours. Here's this abundance of love that I'm giving you so that you can go forth and be the highest version possible of who it is that God created you to be. Everybody comes here with a mission, regardless of what your religious belief is. We're not going to get into all of that. Everybody comes here with a purpose. So it is your purpose to heal so that you can go forth and create children who don't need to constantly be healing from the things that they went through and that they're seeing, you know. So it's important to see where you are, how you can elevate, how you can break the generational cycles that you've seen perpetuated so much and move forward with like a clean slate. So, you know, sometimes when we are going through our journey of seeing what it is, that really reflecting and digging deep into how was I behaving when I was interacting with this person? Where was I at in my own life? Because as much as people like to say, oh, I can't stand my baby daddy, it's something about you that attracted you to that man. I was broken and that nigga was broken too. I was drinking Henny and he was drinking gin. It was something about us that attracted us to create the situation, to create the relationship, to create the connection that we had with each other. There was something about it. Now, that was where it was when it started. Where are we now? I'm in the mindset of wanting to do better. I'm in the mindset of wanting to shift. But sometimes we cannot always bring everybody with us. Everybody ain't trying to transform and elevate and go to higher heights at the same time. I might have to bend the block and catch you in 10 years and see if you're ready then. I might have to just leave you where you are and allow you to be further along in your journey than I am in mine. Whatever the situation is, we have to be okay with understanding that we came into this world by ourselves, we're going to leave by ourselves, and sometimes we will find ourselves on our journey alone. Okay? You cannot have transformation without having isolation. It takes you to sit within your own shit sometimes and really understand what it is that brought you to this point and what direction it is that you want to go in so that you can not be where you are right now. Okay, along my journey, I met a beautiful young lady yesterday. She's from West Oakland. I'm from East Oakland. At some point in time, we probably have both been on 73rd Avenue. We have both traveled to International Boulevard. I live in Atlanta now. Some of us have both been on Old National Highway, Camp Creek Boulevard, Parkway, whatever it is. We will find ourselves at the same intersection or on the same street or experiencing the same speed bumps and potholes, but we're not always going to be on that journey at the very same time. So while you're in your isolation and you're trying to figure it out, understand that it is other people who have been on the same journey as you, who have experienced the same road as you. And while I don't know everything that it is that you've been through, I understand what it is to want to go into isolation so that you can figure out how to find your transformation. And during my transformation is when I was able to see that God instilled a power in me that is necessary and needed in order for me to fuel my transformation out of where I am right now and where I desire myself to be. And while I was able to tap into my power during that transformation, I see that you have that power within you. God put that power in everybody. And so while you're trying to figure it out, I'm here to speak to that power within you, to bring forth that power, to bring it to life, to create this fire within you to understand if I went through a powerful transformation, you can go through it too. I didn't have anybody speaking life into me, activating the power within me. I had to find that shit for myself. And when I found it, I was like, God damn. Why did it take us so long to get here? Because I was on the journey alone. I didn't have that community or that advisor or that mentor or that person that I could go to and ask questions and talk to and ask them like, yo, is this really how I should be moving? Is this, is this the road that I should be taking? I didn't have any of that. But because I know what it's like not to have it, I want to give it to other people. I want to speak that life into you. I want to allow you to be open to receiving guidance because it'll make the journey and the road so much easier, so much more enjoyable when you know it's somebody in your corner that's rooting for you and that understands like, yo, she get it. She feel me. She know what it is. She with the yacht that I mean. That's what's going to make everything just a little bit easier. The road is not meant to be happy, jolly, everything is peachy all the time. But that it doesn't have to be a struggle at all times. So be open to understanding and recognizing when you need to step away from something so that you can isolate, so that you can gain that clarity, so that you can understand what pivot you need to take, but also be open to understanding that the same way that I'm isolating, I'm clearing up this whatever I have been attached to, so that I can make room for the more abundant things that God has for me. There's an abundance of community out here waiting on you. There's an abundance of knowledge waiting for you to take it and run with it. There's an abundance of growth that is in you that you can instill in that environment for your seed, so that your seed can grow abundantly as well. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to find that, even if I'm not the one. You don't everything is not for everybody. I won't be for everybody. It doesn't matter where you get the message from or who you get it, just as long as you got it. Do you understand what the message is? Do you understand the assignment? The assignment is to find yourself in a place where you can continue to put loving growth and environment and moist soil for that seed, so that that child can grow, so that that child can be filled with love. So wherever you need to find it, find it. Just fucking find it, baby. I'm rooting for you, okay? I am Chiarilia, and if this resonated with you, if you have any questions, if you feel like I'm in a situation right now and I know I want to let go of this shackle so that I can elevate, but I can't figure out exactly how to go about it, I'm here. The information is in the bio, in the description. Reach out to me, okay? Because you're not on this journey alone. God did not put us here to be in that isolation forever. Yes, we need to isolate so that we can go back to the drawing board and figure out how we need to move forward. But understand that we are meant to be in community. You don't have nothing else but people. It is 7 billion motherfucking people on this planet. You don't have no choice but to be in communication with people. So find the right people that are going to speak to the power within you, so that you can boss up. It's power within you. Find that shit.